Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Continuing Education, Certificate, Programs, Certificate in Food and Nutrition, CFN, CFN1 You and Your Food, Block 3, Unit-11, Selection, Preparation and Nutritive Value of Cereals and Millets, 11.0, Objectives. After studying this unit, you will be able to list the criteria for selection of cereals, list the nutrients provided by cereals, and describe the uses of different cereals. 11.1. Introduction. In the earlier units, you have studied the functions and composition of food and its classification into various food groups. We will now learn about the nutritive value of various foods, their selection and use in our day-to-day meals to add to our understanding of foods. As we all know, chapatis, puris, paranthas, bread, rice, idli, dosa are some of the food items that we consume daily. As mentioned at the beginning of Unit 11, these are made from cereals, which are an important part of our diet. You may already know that cereals and millets are seeds of the grass family. The main cereal grains used as food are rice, jowar, bajra, barley, maize, ragi and kodri. We also use them to make flour, bread, breakfast foods, extruded products and various kinds of starches. Cereals form the bulk of our diets because they are a source of energy and other important nutrients to the body. Their cost of production is low and so they are not expensive. They have a bland, mild taste which is acceptable to young and old people alike. These combine well with all other foods such as dal, vegetables, meat or fish. Some of them like ragi, bajra, jowar and kodri can grow under extreme drought and poor irrigation conditions. Therefore, they are easily available and comparatively cheaper than other cereals. In this unit, we shall be studying about the nutrients provided to us by cereals and the preparation and selection of cereals commonly used in our country. 11.2 Selection of cereals. It is important to select the cereals wisely before purchasing them. For proper selection, keep the following guidelines in mind. Grains should be clean and free from dirt, grit, gravel, etc. They should not be infested with molds, insects or fungus. Grains or flour should preferably be bought from cooperative stores, GRAIC, SANGs or any other cooperative organizations to ensure good quality. Materials. Whole wheat is usually ground for use by the families themselves. This helps to prevent the purchase of adulterated flour from the market. Maida should be free from insects, lumps and molds. Puffed rice and churwa should be crisp and not have gravel, grit and sand. Good quality dalia is free from molds and bad odor. Select according to your needs. Thin, long varieties of rice are used for making pulao, while short varieties are suitable for khichdi, idli, dosa, etc. Finer varieties of suji are suitable for halwas, while larger particles are better for upma. Bread should be fresh and wrapped in a hygienic package. Good quality bread is soft and has a baked flavor. Check your progress exercise. 1. List the criteria you need to keep in mind while selecting. A. Whole grains. B. Bread. 11.3 Nutritive value of cereals. Cereals are a valuable source of many nutrients to the body. We will briefly discuss these nutrients one by one. Energy. As you have read in Unit 5, cereals have a high energy value. This is due to 65 to 78% starch present in them. In our Indian diet, a major portion of the energy is provided by the cereals. Proteins. Cereals contain 7 to 12% proteins. Cereals and their products provide half or more of the proteins in the Indian diet. However, the protein of cereals is better used if other protein foods like dals, milk, meat, egg, etc. are eaten along with cereals. This is the reason why combinations like roti and dal, rice and dal, parantha and curds, rice and curds, etc. are so commonly used. These combinations are more beneficial to the body than consuming cereals alone. Minerals and vitamins. Cereals provide us with important minerals like iron. They are also a good source of B-complex vitamins. Ragi is especially rich in calcium. When whole grain cereals like wheat are milled and refined, the outer layer is removed. This leads to a loss in the mineral and vitamin content of the grains. So refined cereal products like maida have a lower content of minerals and vitamins than whole cereals. Products like atta, fiber. Whole cereals are rich in fiber because of their outer covering. Fiber absorbs water, swells and helps to eliminate the waste products from the gastrointestinal tract smoothly, thus preventing constipation. When atta is sifted, the fiber particles and some of the minerals and vitamins are removed. We should therefore avoid sifting out atta as far as possible. Eat more of whole grain cereals. They are more nutritious than refined ones. 11.4 Common cereal grains. 11.4.1 Wheat. This is the most widely used cereal all over the world. It may be consumed in Different forms like whole cracked wheat as in porridges or other breakfast foods, whole wheat flour, atta, in the form of chapatis, puris, paranthas. Semolina i.e. suji or rava in the form of uppama, kasari, refined wheat flour, maida, as in cakes, cookies, bread, biscuits, extruded products like macaroni, spaghetti, noodles. When wheat is ground into whole wheat flour, atta, no part of the grain is separated. In the making of refined wheat flour, i.e., maida, the outer fibrous covering is removed. That is why maida is finer, softer and whiter than atta. It is therefore important in bread making, but is less nutritious as some of the minerals and vitamins are lost along with the outer husk. The baking quality of wheat is due to the formation of an insoluble protein called gluten during dough preparation. Gluten is important in giving the texture to foodstuffs made from wheat. When bread dough is kneaded, gluten is formed and the strands stretch, forming a net-like structure in which the starch granules are embedded. This structure helps the dough to rise during yeast fermentation and thus makes the bread soft. Chapatis, puris, paranthas, are common preparations made from whole wheat flour. To get a good product, you must knead the dough well and leave it covered for some time with a wet cloth before making these preparations. This allows the gluten strands to form and so the chapatis are soft, smooth and puff up well. If the dough is used immediately, the puffing quality is affected and the edges are cracked. Also, chapatis made from other grains like maize flour do not puff up due to lack of gluten as compared to those made from wheat flour. Certain varieties of wheat, called the hard varieties, have a higher percentage of gluten. They are, therefore, more suitable for making bread and chapatis, while the soft and appas varieties are better for cakes and biscuits. 11.4.2 Rice is another cereal that is widely used. It is simpler to cook and soft compared to other cereals. Rice has an attractive appearance and a bland flavor. It blends easily with many other foods and is used in the preparation of a variety of snacks. When rice is harvested, the grains are called paddy. They have a fibrous husk or outer covering which is not eaten. This may be removed by hand pounding or milling. When rice is milled, it gets cleaned and the outer husk is removed. It is then sieved and polished. Polishing reduces the mineral and vitamin content of the grains, so polished rice has less nutrients even though it has a refined appearance and does not spoil easily by insects. Parboiled rice, sela rice, is prepared by soaking the paddy in hot water and then steaming it for some time. It is then dried and the husk is removed. The water used for steeping paddy dissolves vitamins and minerals present in the outer layers and carries them into the grain. Thus valuable nutrients which would otherwise be lost in milling are retained in the grain. Parboiled rice is therefore more nutritious than ordinary rice. It also has a better cooking and keeping quality. Rice flakes and puffed rice are processed rice products. Rice flakes or churwa are made after soaking the paddy in hot water, parching it, explained in subsection 11.5, by roasting and then flattening it by force, while hot to form flakes. Roasting helps to toast the grain, resulting in partial cooking. Therefore, rice flakes need very little time to cook and are used as a snack. Puffed rice or murmura is a ready-to-eat rice product. The simplest way of cooking rice is to wash, soak and boil it in water. However, you should take care not to scrub it a lot during washing and not to throw away the water in which it has been soaked. This will help in preventing losses of minerals and vitamins. For good results, cook rice in just sufficient water, 2 cups water for 1 cup rice, so that all of it is absorbed during boiling. Bring it first to a boil and then let it cook on slow heat till tender. Do not allow the rice to boil vigorously throughout as it will get lumpy, burnt and dry on top. When rice is cooked with water, the starch granules inside it absorb water and swell up, causing a change in texture and color. This process is called gelatinization and helps to keep the grains separate. Adding a little fat during boiling keeps the grains separated, and adding a little lemon juice improves its color. You can also cook rice by pressure cooking to save time and fuel. As rice ages, it cooks better. New rice tends to become sticky and therefore requires less water to cook than old rice. However, this does not happen in the case of parboiled rice even if it is new. You can use rice along with other foods to make a variety of preparations like pulaus, khichdi, idli, dosa, sweet rice, kheers, firnis, etc. Rice flakes and puffed rice are commonly used to make poha, bhelpuri, etc. Use more of parboiled rice. It is cheaper and more nutritious than milled rice. Check your progress. 1. What points will you keep in mind in the preparation of rice? 11.4.3 Bajra and jowar. These are millets mainly used for making bread known as roti or bakari. You may also parch or ferment them, as explained in 11.5, and make them into several other products. As they are easily digestible, they are commonly used for feeding small children. 11.4.4 Maize. It is extensively used in many parts of India. It is usually eaten as such when it is raw and tender. It is also available as maize flour and breakfast cereal like cornflakes. Corn oil and corn starch made from maize are also used in cooking. 11.4.5 Ragi. It is grown and mainly used in the south as ragi roti and ragi balls. Ragi flour is mixed with water to form a paste. It is then mixed with steaming rice, cooked and made into balls. These balls are then consumed with curry. Ragi is especially rich in calcium and therefore important for feeding of infants and children. 11.4.6 Kodri. It is a millet, consumed in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. It is dehusked and boiled like rice or ground into flour. 11.4.7 Extruded products. They are products like macaroni, noodles, spaghetti, etc. These are cooked by boiling in plenty of water. The excess water is then drained away. You can eat them along with other foods like vegetables, dals, meat and eggs. 11.5 Sprouting, parching and fermentation of cereals. You can improve the nutritive value of cereals by the process of sprouting, parching and fermentation. Sprouting makes the grains easily digestible. It also increases the amount of B-complex, vitamins and vitamin C for sprouting. Soak the grains in water for 12 to 14 hours, drain away the water and then allow to sprout while moist. When the sprouts come out, dry the grains in the shade, roast lightly and use as such or, after grinding, parching, soak the grains in water and then roast them in a hot iron pan containing heated sand. The grains puff up due to the heat of the sand. The sand can be sifted and reused. Puffed rice and popcorns are parched cereals that we commonly eat. Fermentation also makes the cereals easily digestible and richer in B-complex vitamins. Idli, dosa, bhatura, kulcha are fermented cereal preparations which are popular. 2. Make idlis and dosas. You can prepare the fermented mixture by soaking rice in water for 10 to 12 hours, grinding and then mixing it with ground pulses. Then, allow it to stand overnight after adding salt. The mixture will rise and become lighter. In winter, the process takes longer, so keep the ground mixture in a warm place. For bachras and kulchas, maida is mixed with curd and salt and the mixture is allowed to ferment. Sprouted and fermented cereals have a better nutritional value. 11.6 Let us sum up. There are a variety of cereals used in our country. They form a major part of our diet and are the main source of energy. They contain some protein and some important minerals and vitamins. We use cereals in several different forms in our meals. Whole grain cereals are more nutritious than refined ones and their use should therefore be encouraged. 11.7 Glossary. Bhelpuri. Preparation of puffed rice mixed with sev, onion and chutneys. Chapatis, puris, paranthas, common North Indian preparations made from atta and used in main meals. Dough, a mixture of flour and liquid kneaded into a thick ball after letting it stand. Extrusion, thrusting out shape by forcing through die. Grit, very small gravel material. Idli and dosa, common South Indian preparations made from fermented mixture of rice and pulse. Infested, spoilt by the presence of insects, etc. Parboiled, soaking paddy in hot water and steaming so that vitamins and minerals from the outer layers are carried into the grains and therefore not lost later in milling. Poa, preparation made with rice flakes combined with other foods like vegetable, nuts, etc. Polished rice, rice without husk process to remove some of the outer layers. Refined, removing the outer fibrous coating of the grains for further processing. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.